Alrighty, so today we're going to be looking at estimating latitude and longitude on a map. And so when we're talking about estimating, it's just because we haven't been given that strong a marking. And you can see we've got this map down here, which is of Australia. Now the first thing to look at is what is our scale. So I always look at the horizontal lines and the vertical lines. We can see we've got 15 degrees south is this line here, and we've got 30 degrees south is this line here. That's all the markings we have for our latitude, our north and south, which means we're definitely going to be in the southern hemisphere no matter which we're looking at. Similarly, we could look at the vertical lines, which are measuring how east we are. We've got 120 degrees east, 135 degrees east, and we've got 150 degrees east. So we've got a few different lines running this way, and these are the only markers we've got in between. But we're going to be looking for places that not only live on the intersections of these, for example, there's no really locations that are on these lines. We instead need to be looking in between these lines. So it's good to work out what we're going up in. So this one's going up in 15s. This one's a little bit harder to see, but it's also going up in 15s going this way. So as we go this way, it's going plus 15. And as we're going this way, it's also going plus 15. That's useful to know because it tells us what's an easier marker to break us into. 15 divides really nicely by 3. So we can draw in our third lines to actually get a judgment of approximately where 20 and 25 are along here. And we can continue this along. We can have 35 and 40. Alrighty, and similarly we can do the same thing over here. Break the 15 down into 5s and we can kind of get an idea of where these lines are. It's not exactly an exact science, but I find that it can be quite an easy way of breaking it down if you're having trouble visually seeing it. Anyway, let me clean up my mess and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so the first place we're looking for is Perth. Perth is down here. Now, it's to the left of the 120 degree east, but just make sure we notice where it's going. It's also below the 30 degree south. So since the scale is going 15, 30, so since it's below the 30 degrees south location, it means that it's got to be more than 30 degrees south. How much more? This is where the estimation comes in. It's got to be bigger than 30 degrees southwest because it's more south than the 30 degrees south. And as you go further down, you're going to increase the amount of south you are. So the next line would probably be around here, and that would be the 35 degree south line. It means it's in between the 30 and the 35. Let's call it 32 degrees south. Let's look at the east and the west. Well, there's no west on this map, but let's look at the east. And we can see that it's to the left of the 120 degree east line. And we can kind of get a feeling for, the 115 line would kind of run along here. So maybe it's 116, 117, somewhere around there. So let's put in 116 degrees east. Alrighty, so that's our first location. It is at 32 degrees south, 116 degrees east. Let's look for Cairns. Cairns is up here. And it's in between the 135 and the 150 degree east, and it's in between the 30 and the 15 degrees south. So let's do south first. So for the south, once again, it's kind of useful to break it into those 5 unit markers. So that would be 20, 25, and you can see it's definitely between the 20 and the 25. I'm going to say the 15 and the 20. So 15 and the 20. And I'd say it's closer to the 15, so let's call that 17 degrees south. And for the east-west, well, it's in between 135 and 150. So let's draw in some extra lines. It's about a third. And I'd say it's pretty close on. This is the 135, so this is the 140, 145. I'd say it's pretty close on 145, so let's put 145 east for that one. Winton's our next. Winton is located... Oh, I've lost Winton. Where did Winton go? I'm sure someone's already seen it and is currently yelling at the screen going, there's Winton, here's Winton. So in Queensland. And you can see because I've already written some of the markers down, it's a little bit easy to find. It's in between the 20 and the 25. I'd say slightly closer to 25, so I'm going to call it 23 degrees south. And then for north and, so for east and west, or for east and east, it's in between 140 and 145. I'd say it's pretty smack dab in the middle. Let's call it 142 degrees east. Again, with these estimation sort of questions, you can be off by a couple of degrees, and that's not going to be an issue. Depending on the quality of the map is going to determine how close you need to be getting the right answer. Alrighty, so that's doing a little bit of estimation. See you in the next one. Goodbye.